All right, we're going to continue with the average rate of change today. So a linear function has a constant meaning it doesn't change, rate of change. It is the same no matter what interval you're observing. The constant rate of change is its slope. Okay, and we talked yesterday, that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if we come down here and we have this function f of x equals negative 3x plus 2. And we want to know when x is negative 2, what is y? So if we plug negative 2 in here, we have negative 3 times negative 2 plus 2. That'll be 6 plus 2 is 8. Then if we take negative 1 and put it in place of x, we have negative 3 times negative 1 plus 2. 3, negative times negative is positive, plus 2 is 5. If we put 0 in, that's 0 plus 2 is 2. Okay, so now we want to find the average rate of change, or our slope, of this line. Remember, this is a linear function because it's y equals x plus b. So we can pick any 2 points because our slope is constant. So if we take the top 2 points here, 8 minus 5, so 8 minus 5 for the y, and then negative 2 minus negative 1, that's a plus, so that will give me 3, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, so my slope is negative 3. So does the equation y negative 3x plus 5 provide any clues about the rate of change? So if you remember, y equals mx plus b, our m, our negative 3, is the slope. Okay, if we go down here, we're comparing the rate of change from this function to the table. So in this function, the slope is negative 5. If we pull some equations out of here, our points, so we're going to use these 2 points. So this is our y, this is our x. So we have negative 3 minus a negative 5. So since I started with negative 3, remember I have to start with 0. 0 minus negative 1. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2. 0 plus 1 is 1. So my slope is 2. So if I'm comparing the slopes, we're going to compare the slopes first, and then we're going to compare the y-intercept. So if I'm comparing the slopes, which one has a greater rate of change? This one. Now, don't say, oh, but Miss Lewis, it's negative 5. Remember, the negative only shows me the direction of the line, not the slope. So 5 is the slope. Okay, now if I look at the y-intercepts, what's the y-intercept here? 1. So my y-intercept is 0, 1. My y-intercept here is 0, negative 3. So which one has the greater? Well, this one. Okay, so this function here on both. Okay, so let's go down here. Compare the rate of change for the pair of functions. So we can pick any 2 points here. So if I take the first one and the second one, or if you remember, you can say, oh, 5 minus 2 is 3, 2 minus a negative 1 is 3. Remember going down and doing that out of the table. And then negative 2 minus 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 minus 0 is negative 1. So that would be y over x. So that would give me a negative 3 there. And then here, I'm going to use this point here at 0, negative 2. And then I'm going to go down here. And I'm going to use this point here. And I'm going to do my rise over run. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that's going to be 3 halves. So which one has the greatest rate of change? The negative 3, because 3 is greater than 1.5. Okay, so let's look here. The x-intercept is where the graph crosses the x-axis. Anytime I know the x-intercept, I know y is 0. The y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. Anytime I know the y-intercept, I know x is 0. Now you recall, hopefully from middle school math, y equals m, which is the slope, x plus b, which is our y-intercept where the graph crosses the y-axis. So in this, we're just going to start out by naming our slope and our y-intercept. So this is solved for y, so we can easily see the slope is 3, my b is -3, so we're naming that. Okay, here my slope is 2, my b is -2. Come down here. There is no x here, so my slope is 0, and then my b is -1. Okay, I can't do this here because before I do, I have to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. I get 5y equals -3x minus 5 because that's a -5. Do I have y by itself? Not yet, so I have to divide each term. So if you recall in the last unit, we started doing this, and this is why we needed to do that. So we get y equals -3/5 x minus 1. So my slope is -3/5 and my b is -1. Okay, so here on number 5, I need to solve for y, so I need to subtract 8x. That cancels. This leaves me a -5y equals -8x plus 20. I need to divide each term by -5. Watch your negatives. So I get y, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so that'll be 8/5x. 20 divided by -5 is -4. So my slope is 8/5, and my b is -4. Okay, again, we're going to need to solve for y, so I'm going to subtract 3x. So every time you'll move the x, divide by what's with y. So here is a -2y. Divide by -2.
Students and teachers, can I have your attention please for lunch announcements?
And y equals 3/2 x
Students, if you're
plus
interested in
1.
track and field conditioning, we'll
So you
resume
get
on
3/2
Thursday. If
and
you need more
1.
information, you can see Coach Gibson.
Sorry about the announcement.
Or